Hi, I'm Mal and this is Miniature Warriors. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today's game is our third game in the Gettysburg series and the 10th game in our Longstreet campaign. I have 3 players aside, each contesting for the ground between the Peach Orchard and Little Round Top. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.
As darkness fell on July 1st, the Federals fell back to Cemetery Ridge. Major General Backer's temporary division withdrew through Gettysburg and was ordered to extend the Union line to the south. General Meade attached Backer's command to Sickles's 3rd Corps and promised to send up reinforcements when they were available. In response to the Yankee movements, General Lee, expecting Longstreet's divisions to come up during the night, ordered Heath's division, bolstered by Johnston's brigade, to extend the rebel right. As midday July 2nd approached, word came from General Longstreet that his troops had been delayed and that General Heath was to conduct the assault. It is 3 o'clock, July 2nd, 1863, and Major General Backer, commanding the temporary 3rd Division of Sickles's 3rd Corps, has massed his troops between the Peach Orchard on his right and just short of Little Round Top on his left. On the far side of the field we see Heath's division, as part of Longstreet's corps, forming for the assault. Brigadier Boldman's Federal 3rd Brigade was already marching along the Wheatfield Road, hoping to reach Little Round Top before the expected rebel assault. As it approached 3 o'clock, Brigadier Heath ordered his and Brigadier Johnston's brigades forward, angling their attack towards the Stony Hill. Heath on the left and Johnston's regiments to the right. Further to the south, General Longstreet, commanding Lee's 1st Corps, is hesitant to order the assault and is holding back his most southern brigade, that of Colonel Sheaf, from moving on Little Round Top. As the Confederate attack was developing, at the opposite end of the line, Brigadier Boldman pressed for the commanding officer of Rush's Lancers to find the rebel flank. By 3:30, the rebel regiments were crossing the intervening fields. Heath's cavalry, the 17th Virginia Cavalry Battalion, was about to enter the standing cornfield at the far northern end of the battlefield. Slightly to the south, Beauregard Johnston's artillery had been massed into a 10-gun battery and commenced an uneven duel with the massed Yankee batteries on the far side of the field. With the rebel assault developing on the Confederate left, General Longstreet finally released Sheaf's brigade, who commenced their approach march towards Little Round Top. With colors unfurled and drums beating, the rebel regiments forded Plum Run. As this advance was starting, the 20th Maine and several other units of Brigadier Boldman's brigade reached the summit of Little Round Top, and now controlled the vital high ground on the Union left. With Beauregard Johnston's brigade in the lead, and formed in echelon, the rebels swept forward, braving both shot and shell. As they reached the bottom of the forward slope of Stony Hill, the Yankee regiments loosed their initial volleys. Many balls smashed into the lead Confederate regiments as they pushed up the hill through the trees. Smoke clung densely, blanketing the combat. General Backer continued to feed fresh troops into the combat, reinforcing his position on Stony Hill, as the rebels threatened to envelop both flanks of the position, although General Heath's left prong was lagging behind Johnston's assault. The artillery of both armies, in the center, settled into a counter-battery duel that slowly saw the superior number of concentrated Federal batteries get the upper hand. Solid shot and shell tore away entire gun crews from the rebel line, and one by one the Confederate batteries fell silent. Although some rebel batteries would remain in action until the end of the engagement, the Yankees had won the artillery exchange, and the rebel guns would have little influence on the day's outcome. The struggle for Stony Hill raged, with the rebel infantry launching themselves up the slopes, exchanging close-range musket volleys with the Federal units. Heath's regiments, further north, commenced putting pressure on the Yankee position. Back in front of Little Round Top, Colonel Sheaf's attack had stalled. His rebel infantry regiments, harassed to their right flank by dismounted cavalry, and faced to their front, with a well-defended Little Round Top, the momentum of their advance began to dwindle. The afternoon's engagement would be decided in front of Stony Hill, further to the north. Brigadier Perrot's infantry had spent most of the engagement supporting the Federal gun line. At this point several regiments were committed to counterattacking the exposed flank of Johnston's Confederates, as they were pinned to their front by Backer's Yankees. Johnston's boys, at first, held their ground, but as a second and then a third regiment smashed into the rebel line, ground was given. As the Yankee counterattack went in, a single rebel regiment, the 7th Louisiana Infantry, pierced the Union center and wheeled to their right, taking one of Backer's Federals in flank, at the top of Stony Hill. A hasty charge by the gallant 7th saw the Federal regiment fall back, but the timely arrival of Perrot's reinforcements saw the Yankee battle line stabilize. As the 7th Louisiana Infantry's attack petered out, Heath's regiments attacked the Union regiments to their front, holding the edge of the gap that Johnston's unit had created. A combined advance by Backer's and Perrot's regiments, targeted at the right flank of Johnston's brigade, led to Johnston's flanking regiments giving ground and then being driven backwards. The sheer weight of Federal numbers could not be resisted. On the northwest slope of Stony Hill, Heath's regiments once more charged, slamming into Backer's right. Volley after volley was exchanged between the opposing regiments. Confusion and smoke shrouded the combatants. At the top of the hill, the 7th Louisiana was paying a horrendous toll, being isolated, and taking fire from three sides. The valiant 7th was being whittled away, but held the hard-earned ground. At almost 5:30, and General Longstreet refusing to reinforce his committed brigades, Johnston's brigade broke, leaving Heath's brigade with their right flank unsupported and Federal regiments starting to turn it. At the far end of the field, Sheaff's attack on Little Round Top remained stalled on its lower slopes, and with little prospect of success, Longstreet sent forward messengers to call off the attack. The Union had held their line. Backer's New York regiments, that had served so well at Bull Run, were now reduced to mere shadows of their former strengths. Post-battle, the remnants of the brigade were reinforced by the 1st New Hampshire Volunteers. For his dogged defense of Stony Hill, Major General Backer was promoted to Lieutenant General. On the Union left, Brigadier Boldman's troops had seen off the rebel attack and were reinforced by the 3rd New Jersey. Brigadier Boldman was promoted Major General. Perrot's brigade had held the Union center and had supplied regiments to the counterattack against Johnston's assault. The brigade was reinforced by the 5th West Virginia Infantry. Brigadier Perrot was not promoted. Brigadier Heath's brigade had sustained heavy casualties and was reinforced by the 45th Virginia. Brigadier Heath was not promoted. Colonel Sheaff's brigade had stepped off late and had not been fully engaged. Casualties were not high, however. The brigade was reinforced by the 18th Texas Cavalry Battalion. Colonel Sheaff was not promoted. Brigadier B. E. Johnston's brigade had been roughly handled in the struggle for Stony Hill. The valiant 7th Louisiana Infantry had been torn to pieces but had managed to get their colors to the rear, where the brigade was reinforced by the 9th Louisiana. Brigadier Johnston was not promoted.
Wow, what a close run game that was. The units of Beauregard E. Johnston's troops once again smashed through the Union position, this time on top of Stony Hill, only to be driven rearwards in a very hotly contested engagement. Very entertaining. Anyway, our next game will see our campaign commanders pushing on to the 3rd of July, 1863. And I'll let you guess where on the field at Gettysburg I'll have them playing. But anyway, hope you enjoyed.